Hey, dear members of the Soul and Love Stories family. Today we're diving into a romantic, heartwarming tale of a fiery designer, a rainy New York showdown, and a CEO who's more than meets the eye. Let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any meaningful stories. New York on an autumn afternoon was drenched, rain pouring as if to wash the city away. Greenwich Village shimmered in mist, coffee scents from small shops blending with honking taxis and hurried footsteps. Maya Maddison, 32, dashed through the streets, clutching her interior design sketches, her last hope to save her tiny studio from debt. Her thin coat soaked, brown hair a mess, she muttered. If this rain ruins my deal, I'm selling umbrellas. Maya had once shelved her design passion, working 3 jobs to help her mom clear hospital bills after her dad's death. Now, with her mom stable, she fought to keep her dream, a studio crafting spaces that told stories. Maya darted around a corner, sketches shielding her head like a flimsy umbrella, eyes glued to her watch. Her meeting with a big client, a tech firm, was her shot to clear debts and grow her studio. She whispered, "Mom, pray I don't slip in front of them." But fate had other plans. A sleek black Bentley sped by, its tires hitting a puddle, splashing a wave of dirty water over Maya. Her shirt clung to her, sketches bled ink, shoes squelched. She froze for a second, then rage flared like fireworks. She chased the car, banging on the window, yelling, "Hey, what kind of driving is that? Trying to make me a fish? Get out here, you! You Bentley jerk!" The door opened, and Graham Whitmore, 40, stepped out, eerily calm. Dressed in an expensive gray suit, black hair wet but neat, his eyes were sharp as Wall Street. CEO of Whitmore Tech, Graham lived in solitude, weighed by a harsh father and his mother's death when he was 20. He looked at Maya, soaked, hair plastered to her face, pointing and scolding, and smiled faintly, lips curling with amusement. "You yell well," he said, voice low, pulling a white handkerchief from his pocket and offering it. "Take this. You're cute when you're mad. I like you already." Maya blinked, stunned, snatching the cloth but snapping, "Like what? You soaked me and you're laughing?" Typical. Heartless rich guy. Graham shrugged, unruffled, studying her a moment longer, as if memorizing every annoyed line on her face. "Watch the rain, lady," he said, then slid back into the Bentley, driving off. Maya stood there, fuming, yet flustered. She wiped her face with the handkerchief. Its subtle, woody cologne made her pause, muttering, "Weirdo, who hands out handkerchiefs in a storm?" She stuffed it in her pocket, rushing to her meeting, unaware her smudged sketches still impressed. In the taxi, rain streaking the windows, she thought, "Mom, I yelled a bit loud, but he deserved it, right?" At Whitmore Tech's office, Graham sat behind his desk, mind drifting to the rain-soaked woman. He doodled an umbrella, a habit from his art-loving days, before his father forced him into the CEO role. His assistant asked, "You okay, sir?" "Meeting's late." Graham nodded, a rare smile lingering. "Fine. Just met someone interesting." He said no more, but Maya's street-side outburst replayed like a painting he wanted to keep. Maya reached the meeting, drenched but composed, pitching her sketches with blazing passion. A bright, green-filled office space, like the home she dreamed of for her mom. The clients nodded, unaware the final decision-maker was elsewhere, thinking of her. Leaving the building, rain still falling, she eyed the handkerchief, grumbling, "Weird CEO. Hope I never see you again." But New York, in its autumn downpour, had a way of weaving lost hearts together. That evening, Lila's cafe glowed, Maya's best friend. Lila teased, seeing her soaked. "Who'd you yell at in the rain to blush like that?" Maya tossed the handkerchief on the table, huffing. "Some rich guy splashed me. But he smiled all weird." Lila winked. "Weird, or you're into him." Maya flushed and snapping, "Into your head." But back home, the handkerchief sat on her table, a reminder that today's rain didn't just wet her clothes, it stirred her heart. The New York rain had eased for a few days, leaving Greenwich Village sparkling in autumn sunlight, as if the city were apologizing for soaking Maya Maddison last week. Maya, 32, stood before the mirror in her tiny apartment, adjusting a borrowed blazer from Lila, her best friend and cafe owner. Today was the big pitch, an interior design project for Whitmore Tech's new headquarters, her chance to save her debt-ridden studio. She muttered, eyeing her sketches. "Mom, if I blow this, I'm selling umbrellas for real." She tucked that weird Bentley guy's handkerchief in her pocket. Not because she cared, but because she forgot to return it, right? Whitmore Tech loomed in Manhattan, a gleaming glass tower like a sculpture. Maya walked in, heels clicking, heart pounding. She'd prepped for months, a headquarters design with greenery, natural light, and art nooks, like the home she'd dreamed of for her mom. The meeting room was vast, a glossy walnut table flanked by suited executives eyeing her warily. Maya smiled, launching her pitch, voice steady. "Spaces aren't just walls. They tell the stories of those inside." She was explaining a mural when the door opened, and a man in a gray suit strode in, his walk icy. Maya faltered, nearly dropping her pen. Graham Whitmore, 40, CEO of Whitmore Tech, took the head of the table, eyes sharp as that rainy day. He looked at her, lips twitching. "Ms. Maddison, no yelling like in the rain. Carry on." Maya froze, face burning. The Bentley guy? The CEO. Her mind screamed, "I yelled at the project's boss?" She took a breath, pushing on, but when she pitched orange chairs for the lobby, a bold touch, Graham cut in. "Orange? I thought you knew design, not circuses." The room snickered. Maya fired up, shot back. "Mr. Ice, orange is energy. Your office needs it, or your staff will doze off." The room crackled, not from conflict but from a strange chemistry. Maya pitched with passion. Graham's questions were razor sharp, yet his eyes lit up when she pushed back. An executive whispered, "She's not scared of the boss, huh?" As the meeting ended, Graham stood, announcing, "Ms. Maddison, you'll work directly with me. Don't disappoint me, like your umbrella did." Maya blinked, half annoyed, half amused. "My umbrella's fine. You're the problem splashing people." The room laughed. Graham shrugged. "Good. Monday, 8 a.m., my office." Maya left, mind tangled like wires. She flopped into a chair at Lila's cafe, spilling it all. "Lila, the Bentley guy's the CEO, and I called him Mr. Ice in front of everyone." Lila howled. "Yell again. You like him, don't you?" Maya flushed and snapping, "Like your head. He's weird, smiling all warm." She pulled out the handkerchief, studying it, muttering, "Who gives a handkerchief in a storm?" Lila winked. "Someone into you, dummy." In Whitmore Tech's office, Graham sat alone. Maya's sketches on his screen. Greenery, light, murals. He thought of his mom, who painted before illness took her, and his dad, who forced him from art to CEO. He murmured, "This woman, she's not afraid of me. Impressive." His assistant knocked, asking, "You picked Maddison for her designs, right?" Graham smiled faintly. "Because she yells better than anyone." He doodled an orange chair, thinking of Maya, unaware her fiery spirit was thawing a heart frozen for years. Maya got home, opening an old sketch, a colorful house she'd drawn for her mom. She whispered, "Mom, I'll make it, right?" Even with Mr. Ice being so weird. She eyed the handkerchief, grinning. "At least he didn't splash me again." Outside, New York glowed, and the autumn rain, quietly, was weaving a love story no one saw coming. Autumn in New York played like soft jazz, golden leaves drifting across Greenwich Village sidewalks, mingling with coffee scents from tiny shops. Maya Maddison, 32, strode into Whitmore Tech's headquarters, clutching her laptop and a bold plan to rile up Graham Whitmore. The CEO she dubbed Mr. Ice. Since their sparring meeting last week, she'd worked directly with him, each day a battle. Not of clashing ideas, but of a strange chemistry that threw her heart off beat. Checking her sketches, she muttered, "Mom, if he hates the orange chairs, I'll add cat art to mess with him." She grinned, but in her pocket, the handkerchief Graham gave her that rainy day stayed tucked, like a secret she wasn't ready to face. Graham's office perched on the 50th floor, glass walls framing a glittering Manhattan. At 40, he sat behind a sleek desk, gray suit pristine, But his eyes softened slightly when Maya walked in. She plopped her laptop down, declaring, "Mr. Ice, new lobby design, giant boss meow cat mural, right at the entrance." Graham raised an eyebrow, smirking. "Cats? Turning my company into a pet shop?" Maya shrugged, mock serious. "Cats inspire, didn't you know? Your staff will work double." He laughed, a rare sound that startled his assistant outside. "Fine," Graham said, "but I want a 3D model of floor 50 in 48 hours. Let's see if you work as well as you yell." Their battle rolled on, not in meetings but in small jabs. Maya sent designs with cat-shaped chandeliers. Graham demanded standing desks to keep staff awake. Both knew it was a game of cat and mouse. Yet amid the sparring, they grew close. One late night, Maya brought instant noodles from Lila's cafe, forcing Graham to eat. "What kind of CEO lives on coffee? Dig in, or I'll yell again." Graham fumbled with chopsticks, grumbling, "Make me eat this, and you're fired." She laughed. "Fire me, I'll open a noodle shop next door." They sat on the office floor, jazz humming from an old speaker, their glances lingering longer than usual. The turning point came one morning. Annoyed that Graham tweaked her design without asking, Maya stormed into his office with coffee, slamming the cup down. It tipped, splashing his white shirt, soaking through to reveal his chest. Maya panicked, yelling, "Oh no, I didn't mean it! Mr. Ice, don't melt!" Graham stood, stepping close, shirt clinging, voice low. "Think I'll melt? Or are you shaking?" The air sizzled. Maya flushed, backing up, dropping papers. "Shaking your head. I'm getting a towel." She bolted, heart racing, muttering, "Mom, he did that on purpose, right?" Post-coffee spill, Maya stumbled on a secret. In a corner of Graham's office, she spotted an old sketch. An abstract burst of color, signed GW at Lila's cafe. She asked, "Lila, he paints?" "A CEO who paints?" Lila winked. "You're curious about him, huh? Ask him." Maya blushed, denying it. But that night, she opened her own sketch, a vibrant house for her mom, and thought of Graham. She whispered, "Mom, if he loves art, why's he so cold?" In his dim penthouse, Graham held an old drawing, thinking of his mom, who taught him to paint before illness took her. His father, Edward, forced him to abandon art for the CEO chair, calling it childish. But Maya, with her cat murals and orange chairs, made him itch to pick up a brush. He murmured, "She's not afraid of me. And I don't want her to be." He kept Maya's boss meow design, secretly hanging it behind his chair, smiling. "You win this round, lady." New York glowed, autumn leaves falling outside Whitmore Tech's windows. Maya and Graham, caught in their game of jabs, didn't see they were designing more than a headquarters, a home in each other's hearts. Lila's cafe stayed fragrant, and the handkerchief in Maya's pocket reminded her that the rain hadn't just soaked her clothes. It had planted something beautiful. Autumn in New York deepened, golden leaves blanketing Central Park, like quiet memories settling over the city. Maya Maddison, 32, headed to Whitmore Tech daily, sketches in hand and a heart stirring for Graham Whitmore. After late nights with instant noodles, boss meow, cat art, and the coffee spill on his shirt, she saw he wasn't just Mr. Ice adjusting her designs. She muttered, "Mom, if he wasn't so weird, I probably wouldn't like him." The handkerchief Graham gave her that rainy day stayed in her pocket, a reminder she was falling into something bigger than a project. Graham, 40, was changing too. His office now had plants Maya insisted on, and the boss meow sketch still hung behind his chair, despite his fake complaints. He looked at her, not with coldness, but with warmth, as if rediscovering a lost part of himself. The part that loved art and life, before his father, Edward, molded him into the perfect CEO. One afternoon, they strolled through Central Park for design inspiration. Maya pointed at the leaves. "See? This gold beats my orange chairs." Graham laughed. "You win on color, but I'm still vetoing cats." She tossed leaves at him. They cracked up, hands nearly brushing in the autumn light. A closer moment came on a park bench, sharing their pass. Maya's voice softened. "My mom got sick when Dad died. I worked 3 jobs, waitressing, cleaning, selling art, to pay hospital bills. I quit designing because I didn't want her to see me fail. Graham met her eyes opening up. My mom died when I was 20. She loved painting, but my dad called it useless. He forced me into CEO, said only perfection mattered. His voice cracked. I lived to please him, but I'm tired, Maya. She took his hand gently. You don't need to be perfect. Just be Graham. They almost kissed, but a gust scattered leaves, breaking the mood. Maya laughed. Even leaves know how to ruin a moment, huh? But a storm hit harder than autumn winds. One evening, checking emails at the office, Maya saw a company message. Maya's ideal for testing new styles, cheap and effective. Monitor client reactions. Signed GW, Graham Whitmore. Her hands shook. A test? Cheap? She thought of her mom, the days she worked herself raw only to be temporary. The noodle nights, cat sketches, Graham's glances, were they all a game to evaluate her? She whispered, Mom, I was dumb to trust him. That night, Maya confronted Graham in his office, eyes colder than their first rainy meeting. You used me as a style test, right? She asked, voice sharp. Graham froze. Maya, that's not... She cut him off, pointing at her laptop. I saw the email, Graham. I thought you saw me. Not some cheap option. She laughed bitterly. I worked 3 jobs to survive, but no one's made me feel smaller than you. Shaking her head, she turned away, leaving the boss meow sketch on his desk, eyes stinging. Twist. The email didn't mean Graham saw her as a test. He wrote it to shield her from the board's skepticism about her lack of fame, but hid it, fearing she'd think he doubted her. His silence broke everything. He called after her. Maya, listen. But she was gone, stepping into New York's rain, thin coat soaked. At home, clutching his handkerchief, she cried, Mom, I thought he was different. Why'd I believe so easily? Graham stood in his office, rain pounding the windows, holding Maya's cat sketch. He muttered, I screwed up. Looking at his old drawing, his mom's favorite, he resolved to find her, to tell her she wasn't just a designer, but his whole world. Outside, Central Park lay dark, but the city's lights glowed, promising rain couldn't drown everything. New York's rain returned, falling hard as if to drown the city's pain. Maya Maddison, 32, sat in her small Greenwich Village apartment, a dim yellow lamp glowing on an old sketch, a vibrant house she'd drawn for her mom. After confronting Graham Whitmore over the cheap test email, she'd quit the Whitmore tech project, heart shattered. Clutching the handkerchief he gave her that first day, she whispered, Mom, I thought he saw me. Why was I so dumb? Rain pounded the window, echoing the day she yelled at him on the street, when she didn't yet know her heart would beat for him. In Whitmore Tech's office, Graham, 40, stood by the glass. Rain blurring Manhattan, he held Maya's Boss Meow sketch, heart heavy. The email he wrote to shield her from the skeptical board had become a blade slicing her trust. He muttered, I made her cry. I don't deserve my father's approval, let alone her. His assistant said, Madison quit. Find a new designer? Graham shook his head firm. No one replaces her. Checking the email, he realized it was sent from the company server by mistake, not meant to reach her. He resolved, I have to find her even if she yells again. Rain poured as Graham ran to Maya's apartment, suit soaked, hair a rare mess. He banged on her door shouting, Maya, please, open up. Maya in an old sweater heard him, heart racing but voice icy. Go away, Mr. Ice. I'm not your experiment anymore. Graham hit the door, voice raw. You're not an experiment. I wrote that email to protect you, but I screwed up hiding it. If you won't forgive me, at least let me say I love you. Maya froze, opening the door, eyes red. Love? You called me cheap. How's that love? Graham stepped in, rain dripping. I wrote it so the board wouldn't force changes on you. You're the best designer I know, and the only one I want beside me. Maya blinked, tears falling, voice trembling. I worked 3 jobs so Mom could live, Graham. I don't need pity. He knelt, taking her hand. It's not pity. I live to please my dad, but you make me want to live for me. For your art, your laugh, your yelling at me. I love you, Maya, since you called me stupid Bentley. She laughed through tears. You're the worst at confessions, you know. He stood, pulling her close, whispering, marry me. You can yell forever. Just don't leave. Maya flushed, tapping his chest. Yes, but you're learning to clean coffee spills first. They kissed, rain outside softening, like a blessing. A year later, Maya opened her own studio in Greenwich Village, walls covered with her paintings. The colorful house for her mom, now real. Whitmore Tech's new headquarters featured a giant Boss Meow mural in the lobby, dubbed Maya's Legacy by staff. Graham, less icy, visited her studio with noodles and jazz. One afternoon in Central Park, they sat on their old bench, leaves falling. Maya teased, if you hadn't splashed me that day, I'd never have met you. Graham kissed her forehead. I'd splash you again to keep you. She tossed leaves at him, laughing. Watch it, Mr. Ice. I'll yell. In the final scene, they stood in her studio, Maya teaching Graham to paint. He smeared color on his face, grumbling, I'm better at CEO. She wiped it off, smiling. The worst, but I love you like this. Lila yelled from her nearby cafe, kiss already, you sappy too. They laughed, kissing amid paint and color. Graham whispered, you designed a home in my heart, Maya. She winked, and you're the messiest sketch I've ever fixed. Thank you for following this heartfelt story on the Soul and Love Stories channel. Share your thoughts about Maya and Graham's rainy romance in the comments below. If you believe true love can bloom from a splash in the rain and grow through trust, don't forget to hit the like button and share this story with your friends. To never miss out on touching and meaningful stories, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to spread messages of love and warmth to everyone. Let's cherish the beautiful moments of life and love together.